other big consideration is you the driver. What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Fred's Full Throttle. Today I'm going to talk through the different wheel options available for the C8 Z06. I'm going to talk about the factors to consider when picking which wheels you want, pros and cons of each, and then at the end sharing my perspective on my thoughts as well as what I'm going to end up picking for my C8 Z06 build. For a while I've been very excited to do this video. This is perhaps the most requested topic from viewers on a subject that I should cover, as people are pretty conflicted about which wheels should they go for. In fact, I already filmed this once back in January. Today I'm going to be talking about the C8 Z06's carbon fiber wheel option, but upon reviewing the footage, before I even got to the editing, I realized I needed to go into deeper detail and I needed to provide better answers for some of the questions people would ask. So here I am today, giving it my best shot to go into the depth and detail that people want so they can make a decision. This is the second video in a series of deep dives I'm doing on the options and specs for the C8 Z06 to help people figure out what they want for their own cars, as well as to help me make up my mind for my own spec. So if you're trying to figure out what options to pick for your car, please hit that subscribe button because there's going to be a lot more information and videos to come. Alright, so we've got a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. Alright, so no matter what spec of Z06 you decide on, there are a couple things that are going to be the same. You're going to get 20-inch diameter wheels with a 10-inch barrel depth in the front, and then you're going to get 21-inch diameter wheels in the back with a 13-inch barrel. That actually makes them among the widest wheels on the road for any car today. And there are two primary options for the wheels: the standard alloy wheels and then the carbon fiber wheels. So first, the alloy aluminum wheels are the standard wheels that come on any version of the car right out of the box. Aluminum alloy is a blend of different metals, but ultimately the goal with those wheels is for lightweight, high strength, and good performance. Most high performance sports cars or supercars these days do have aluminum alloy wheels, and the Corvette is no exception. Up until recently, your only options for wheels on a sports car are metal or metal. Which brings us to the carbon fiber wheel. Carbon fiber is not a metal, it's actually a mix of carbon impregnated fabrics saturated with various resins and then compressed and baked at high temperature for a long amount of time, which results in a high strength composite material that exhibits really good behaviors in a number of different ways. The resulting material is very, very light while being stronger than steel and able to be manufactured in any shape you can dream of. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 10 years or so, you've probably noticed that a lot of high performance cars have started to incorporate carbon fiber. Everything from trim and interior bits inside the car to the mirrors and spoilers, even now some cars doing a roof or the front hood in carbon fiber to save weight and lower that center of gravity. Really expensive high performance cars, such as some supercars and hypercars, even go as far as to have the subframe and chassis made out of carbon fiber to save weight and give you that added strength. Carbon fiber boasts many improvements over standard materials, such as very lightweight and high strength, which ultimately result in a variety of performance improvements for any car. Naturally, as part of this progression to add performance while saving weight and gaining strength, wheels became one of the focuses of these efforts. Manufactured by a company called Carbon Revolution, Chevy has entered into a partnership to have them manufacture the wheels for the C8 Z06. Carbon Revolution may sound familiar. They're actually the manufacturer for the Ford GT500 carbon fiber wheels, as well as the new Ford GT's carbon fiber wheels. Now, on the wheels from Carbon Revolution, there's a couple special enhancements. First, on the outside of the raw carbon fiber wheels, there's a gloss finish. That gloss finish actually is a proprietary coating which will protect the wheel from UV degradation over time. And then if you look a little bit more closely at the inside of the wheel, you'll notice that the inner coating of the barrel of the wheel, as well as the back of the spokes, has a white coating on it. This is a ceramic thermal barrier coating, or TBC. This coating is intended to protect the carbon fiber wheels from heat degradation as a result of high performance track driving and all the heat that the carbon ceramic brakes are going to be shedding while you drive. To develop this TBC, Carbon Revolution turned to the aerospace industry. For decades, ceramic coatings have actually been used in the aerospace industry to protect high-temperature components of things like turbine blades and jet engine parts. Using similar methods, Carbon Revolution actually developed their own TBC using a multi-layer proprietary blend of different materials. This coating is applied to the inner barrel as well as the back of the spokes using a plasma arc process to liquefy the ceramic material. This results in a thin, ultra-tough coating that reduces wheel temperatures during prolonged track use. Now, interestingly, some may think that this coating is only while you're driving, and actually that's only half of it. It's also designed to protect the wheel once you've stopped. See, all that heat is going to be built up in your brakes, but when you stop the car, you're going to have a part of the wheel that is directly over the brakes for a prolonged period of time. As the heat radiates off of the brakes, it would be going right up into the barrel of the wheel and could potentially weaken or structurally compromise the wheel. That's what this TBC coating is there to prevent. The white color is to help reflect heat, and Corvette chief engineer Taj Juchter said that the white coating will become less obvious over time as dust and other debris build up on it. Alright, so those are the two types of wheels. Next, let's talk about the colors for a moment. The alloy wheels offer 6 different colors, including titanium satin, machine face, satin graphite, black, and then 2 accessory aluminum wheels, which are tech bronze and graphite with a red stripe around it. It's unclear at the moment if these accessory wheels will be something you order separately or if you can get them on the car right when you order it. And then the carbon fiber wheels offer 2 finishes. They offer a gloss carbon fiber where you can see the weave, and then they offer a carbon flash metallic painted, which is the standard carbon flash metallic that's been on Corvettes for a while. So first, let's dive into the pros and cons of the alloy wheels as compared to the carbon fiber wheels. You'll notice as I go through that I'm not going to comment on subjective things like the appearance or the looks of the wheels because there isn't an objective way to measure that and everybody has different tastes. Alright, so first let's go into the pros of the alloy wheels. First comes cost. The most obvious advantage of the alloy wheels is that they come on all versions of the car right out of the factory at no additional cost. Though pricing hasn't been announced yet, it's pretty likely that no matter which finish you pick, the price will be same or very similar across all the different finishes. This means this is the least expensive wheel you can get for the car. Alright, the next is that they are tried and true. With decades of alloy wheels on high performance cars, they're a known trusted quantity and should offer consistent performance throughout the ownership of the vehicle. Next is replacement availability and cost. Since the technology for alloy wheels has been pretty widespread across the automotive industry, the availability of replacement wheels, should you ever need them, will likely be higher, and the price for those replacement wheels will be a lot lower than they would be for a carbon fiber wheel. Now let's move over to the cons of the alloy wheels. First is that they're heavier. Though alloy wheels are pretty light for what they offer, they're significantly heavier than a carbon fiber wheel. Ballpark estimate puts these at about 40% heavier than the carbon fiber equivalent. Next is durability. While the Z06 isn't even out yet, a lot of you probably remember the fiasco with the C7 Grand Sport and Z06 wheels. Without getting into the details here, there was a significant number of owners who reported cracks or dents in their wheels through normal driving. This eventually led to a class action lawsuit against Chevrolet. Now we don't know if these flaws were the result of bad manufacturing, a poor design, or something else. So the hope here is that Chevy learned from this and over-engineered the wheels for the C8 Z06 to either cut down or eliminate the risk here. Chevy doesn't want to make an inferior product, and I would be shocked if they didn't apply some of what they learned from the C7 to these new wheels. Now we shouldn't necessarily assume that these wheels are going to be fragile, but I know that there are probably going to be a bunch of former C7 owners who buy a C8 Z06 and they're going to have that little question mark in the back of their head about, are these wheels really going to hold up over the long-term use of the car? Certainly not something huge to worry about, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Overall, the alloy wheels are a great option and should meet just about anyone's needs. Alright, so let's turn the page over to the carbon fiber wheels. First, the carbon fiber pros. The first thing that most people usually quote about carbon fiber wheels is how light they are. In this case, they have a lot less unsprung weight than their alloy counterparts. The full set saves about 41 pounds over the stock alloy wheels, which works out to a little more than 10 pounds per wheel. Now we don't know how much each wheel weighs, either of the alloys or the carbon fiber wheels, but for context, when Koenigsegg switched from alloy wheels to carbon fiber for their own cars, the wheels went from 22 pounds each to 13 pounds each, which is about a 40% reduction in weight. The next is acceleration. Obviously, having less unsprung weight means that the car can accelerate a little bit faster. This will overall translate into faster times on various sections of any racetrack. The added strength of carbon fiber also means that these wheels will be laterally stiffer than their alloy counterparts. This then results in sharper handling. Next is strength. Now, compared to steel, carbon fiber is significantly stronger while significantly lighter. And then compared to aluminum, the carbon fiber is even lighter than that still. This means you have higher tolerance for overall sustained loads on the wheels, and that they likely can put up with anything you can throw at them on the track. No corrosion. So being that carbon fiber is not metal, one of the other advantages that people don't always think of is that there is no way for the wheels to actually corrode over time. This means that they retain their structural integrity as long as they don't get damaged. Now this sounds pretty great. I mean, these are all things that people would want for wheels on any car, really. However, nothing comes without downsides, and carbon fiber wheels are no exception. Let's go over the cons now. So first is cost. This will ultimately be the first thing that most people bring up against carbon fiber wheels. They're going to be expensive, likely very expensive. Though pricing hasn't been announced yet, we can get a general idea. As mentioned earlier, the Ford GT500 offers carbon fiber wheels manufactured by Carbon Revolution. There's a carbon fiber performance package offered for the car, which includes a carbon fiber spoiler as well as a set of 4 carbon fiber wheels. This package costs $18,500 to add to your car. Now this package is also offered at a discount, a lower price than if you were to buy the spoiler and the wheels separately. Looking at the Ford Performance catalog, the price to buy the wheels on their own directly is expensive. The front wheels are $7,015 each, and the rears are a little bit less at $5,700 per wheel. This adds up to a total cost for a set of 4 wheels of $25,430. Now on the Z06, these carbon fiber wheels will be a standalone option, but I do think they're going to fall somewhere between about $15,000 and $20,000. And it's unclear if speccing the carbon flash metallic paint is going to adjust that price one way or the other, or maybe not at all. However, we're not done. The carbon fiber wheels aren't something you can just add to any Z06. First, you need to spec the Z07 performance package to the car, which includes an array of additional features and changes to the car. We don't know the pricing yet there either, but on the C7 Z06, that package costs $7,995. Basically $8,000. I would expect the Z07 package for the new C8 Z06 to be at least as expensive, potentially even a little bit more. So that means you need to check the box for the Z07 package before you can even think about adding the carbon fiber wheels. Those 2 checkboxes alone are going to add anywhere between $25,000 and $30,000 to the car, depending on whatever the exact pricing works out to. So they're a lot of money. Now durability. I know I mentioned this with the alloy wheels, however carbon fiber comes with its own set of concerns as well. How does it handle sharp impacts like a pothole or broken pavement? It should be fine on smooth pavement or on a racetrack, but the reality is that that's not the type of roads that a lot of us have around where we live. There is some concern around how well will these hold up on less than ideal surfaces and over a period of time. Next is heat degradation. Though they've put the TBC coating on the wheels as I mentioned earlier, heat is still something that can degrade carbon fiber over time. How will these carbon fiber wheels deal with excessive heat in really hot situations, such as a racetrack driving all day where the ambient air temperature is above 90 degrees? What happens if the TBC gets a chip in it? Is that something that you can repair and replace so that you don't have to replace the whole wheel? TBC is a pretty thin material as they've advertised, and so if the wheel flexes, does the TBC offer the same amount of flex without cracking over time? Next is UV degradation. Probably a minimal concern because of the proprietary gloss coating on the carbon fiber finished wheels. However, traditionally, the resins in carbon fiber can break down when exposed to UV light. Now, for any car that has a lot of long-term sun exposure, it's unknown how well this protective coating is going to protect the wheel. Hopefully, this coating lives up to its promises, but only time will tell. We don't want to see yellowed or faded carbon fiber in 5 to 10 years over time from cars that have seen a lot of sunlight. While the heat and the UV degradation I mentioned a second ago are concerns that potentially could have no merit, this next one isn't. Now this is a big one. You can't repair a carbon fiber wheel. Because the construction of carbon fiber is a woven and layered material, and then that each layer of the fabric itself is its own layered and woven material, there isn't anything you can really do to repair a deep structural crack or chip or broken piece. And that's especially true for a high stress, high performance component such as a wheel. In one of my recent videos, I showed a picture of a carbon fiber wheel on a Z06 test car that had some curb rash. Now maybe that curb rash was just on the clear coat that was on top of the wheel, but are you going to be able to purchase a touch-up bottle of that clear coat so that the rest of the wheel would match the part that had been damaged? Is that patched area going to weather the same over time? And ultimately, are you going to be able to tell that there had been damage there previously? Anything more significant than that, though, and you're going to have to replace the whole wheel. Now that leads into the next concern, and that's replacement availability. Now if the worst should happen, you damage a wheel such that you need to replace it, I would have some concern around the availability of getting a replacement wheel, especially in a timely fashion and during the early production run of the car. Even for the first couple of years, priority for production may be for the cars that have yet to be completed rather than as a replacement part for somebody who's damaged a wheel. So this means if you do significantly damage a carbon fiber wheel, you may be sitting a long time waiting for a replacement. And then the last con that I could think of was visual symmetry. This is the lowest in consideration of a con, but it's something I figured I'd mention for people who are really obsessive about their cars. Now the carbon fiber wheels aren't directional, but they also aren't symmetrical. This means that if you get a front wheel, it can go on either side of the car. Same for the rears. Now looking at these wheels, it's a 5-spoke design design, but if you look, there's a little bit of a twist where the sides of the wheel look like they've stayed put and the center has turned just a little bit. It looks like it's rotating in a clockwise direction. Now, to prove this for yourself, go take a look at a picture of the C8 Z06 with the carbon fiber wheels and look at the part of the wheel that's right against the ground. At the end of each spoke, there's a little triangle that sticks out. Now, what you'll see is that on the passenger side of the car, the right side of the car, that little triangle is going to be pointing forward. However, if you shift over to the driver's side, you'll notice that that little triangle is pointing backwards. Now, this isn't just like a test car that happened to have the wrong wheels on it. This is true for any Z06 with the carbon fiber wheels. If you don't believe me, go and look up any photos of the car with the Z07 package and the carbon fiber wheels. Look at pictures of both sides of the car and you'll see what I'm talking about. Personally, I don't think this is an issue, but some people may care about this aesthetically. Keeping in mind that you're never going to see both sides of the car at the same time, most people will probably never notice this. I gotta say, when I saw the car in person at the dealer tour, I didn't notice it until I went back and looked at the footage. Now, a little side note that's probably gonna drive some people nuts is that the C7 also had this for the brakes. If you had the drilled and vented steel rotors, there is a curve that goes around the center of the wheel. Now, what's funny is if you look at one side of the car, that curve is facing forward, and if you look at the other side of the car, it's actually facing the opposite direction. This means that the brakes are not specific to one side of the car or the other. Sorry for anybody that meticulous if this ruins your day, but it was something that somebody pointed out to me at a car show. All right, so we've gotten through the pros and cons of both types of wheels. Let's go on to a couple other considerations. First is resale value for the car. Now, some people out there are going to spec the car in whatever way they think will bring the most resale value later on, even if that means that they don't want the wheels themselves, but they think it will give them more money down the road. Now, I think that's kind of silly personally because I'm not planning to flip the car and I'm not buying it so that the next owner can enjoy it more than me. Personally, I don't buy the car to save it or maximize resale down the road. I'm buying it for myself and so that I enjoy it as much as possible, so I can't really relate to that, but I'm sure it matters to some people. Next is looks. It's really subjective in nature, but some people are gonna like the looks of the carbon fiber wheels better, and others are gonna like the stock wheels better. And neither one is wrong, but both are a great option. Now, the white ceramic darkening on the carbon fiber wheels. I had touched on it before, and Tej mentioned in a video with Speed Phenom that over time, that white ceramic, as soon as it gets a little dust on it, you're not gonna notice it. And sure enough, when I went to the dealer tour at McMulkin, I noticed that was true. I actually zoomed in and looked at one of the rear wheels, and you could tell the ceramic was there, but it wasn't obvious, and in fact, standing more than about 3 feet away, you couldn't even tell. Another factor is wheel insurance. Now, previously, Chevy, as well as third parties, have offered wheel insurance so that if you damage the wheels on your car, you could get them repaired or replaced. Now, the carbon fiber wheels have enough differences between alloy wheels, and they cost that much more, that it remains to be seen if Chevy will offer a replacement program for them, or even if third parties will. Chances are, if they do, it's going to be more expensive than if it's just normal alloy wheels that you're insuring. Something to keep in mind. All right, benefits of whichever wheel you pick. Now, if you're somebody who values function over form, such as myself, it's worth talking about the benefit that the carbon fiber wheels provide. In Chevy's testing during development, they found that on a track that takes 2 minutes to set a lap, that the carbon fiber wheels knocked about 1 to 1.5 seconds off of a lap time on 2 cars that were functionally identical other than the wheels being different. Direct from Tej, he said that at first they thought it was a rounding error, but then they did enough laps that it ended up being statistically significant. So for the no compromises drivers, the people who are going to be at the track a lot and really need to shave every 1/10 of a second off that they can, that means that the carbon fiber wheels are probably going to be something that you want to consider speccing. However, I will caveat that by saying it's probably a very small percentage of the buyers of this car that are going to use it to that extent to where they would notice that difference. Now, this gets into the use of the car. Are you going to be tracking the car? And if so, are you going to be tracking it much? Will you be driving a lot on the road? Will you be doing an occasional track day? Maybe a lot of track days? Or are you actually racing the car? The way that you use the car, especially if you care more about the function of the wheels, may strongly dictate which wheel you would go for. Keeping in mind that on public roads, the Z07 package is going to offer a significantly stiffer ride, and the wheels are going to transmit a lot more of that road feel through to the driver. For some, I'm sure that sounds fantastic. For others who want a comfortable ride, that may be a little bit less important. And lastly, the other big consideration is you, the driver. Looking objectively, to get the most out of whatever wheels you pick, you need to be a very, very skilled driver. It's one thing to completely justify wanting to buy the carbon fiber wheels based on the looks, or that you have the money so it's no big consideration. But if you're looking to extract better lap times through these lighter high-performance wheels, the question if you should get them really comes down more to your own ability. I would hazard to say that if you don't do a lot of track days every year, or have a racing license, you're probably not a skilled enough driver to actually notice a difference. That doesn't mean you can't get the wheels, it just means that you're not actually going to see a significant improvement in your lap times. Alright, so Fred's take. What am I going to put on my car? As I mentioned in my video about the seats, I'm very much a function first, form second type of person. A corollary to that is that I also like getting value for money. Doesn't mean I need to get a deal or get things at a discount, but it does mean that I need to feel like I'm getting the benefit of the money I'm spending. It has to feel worth it to me. Being honest with myself, I consider myself a pretty skilled driver, and I do some track events. However, I'm really far from being anywhere close to what I would consider to be an expert. This car is going to set the bar so much higher than whatever my capabilities are as a driver that I may never reach the full potential of setting low lap times in the car. As such, for me, the carbon fiber wheels are a no. Additionally, upon going to the dealer tour and seeing all the wheels in person, I actually really enjoyed the stock wheels in either a machine face or a black finish. Making the decision today, it would be the standard wheels in black. To me, that additional $20K could go towards another car or a down payment towards building a new garage. And I don't think that the pros outweigh the cons. Alright, now stay tuned for the coming weeks. I've got deep dives coming up on some of the bigger options like trim packages, coupe versus convertible, and even the Z07 package. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, Fred out!